Total body strength sessions are great for allowing us to hit all the major muscle groups in one short amount of time. And this one is awesome because it can be done virtually anywhere. No fancy equipment needed. And I love that. Of course, you can take this 5-minute session and you can repeat it multiple times so that you can increase the workload and the duration that you're working. Of course, this could be for 5, 10, 15 or more minutes. It's totally up to you. Either way, I know you're gonna get a great workout. Let's get going. All right, to begin with the chair squat, turn your back toward your chair. Make sure your feet are a few inches in front of it, but that it's accessible. We're gonna end up sitting down into the chair, so you don't wanna miss it. Feet should be placed hip width apart, toes pointing forward or just slightly out to the side. Make sure your chest is up, your spine is neutral, and your knees are aligned over your feet. Begin by pushing your hips back and slowly lowering yourself into a seated position. Now notice how I brought my hands here in front of me. That helps with balance, and certainly you can do the same thing. On your way up, I want you to exhale as you squeeze through your glutes. Again, keeping your back flat, your spine neutral, and coming back into this standing position. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up, making sure not to allow your knees to cave in toward each other. Also making sure that the movement is slow and controlled. Continue on for 10 reps. To begin this exercise, I want you to decide if you're going to need additional weight or not. Now that doesn't have to be a dumbbell like I have. It can also be a household item like a purse, a backpack, or even a milk jug. It's totally up to you. Now, of course, if you're a true beginner and you haven't done this exercise before, I suggest you start without weight until you're able to perform it comfortably and confidently using correct form. Let's get going. You're gonna stand with your feet hip width apart, toes pointed forward or just slightly out to the side. Now, this really is a hinging action at the hips. So you'll begin by keeping your chest up, your back flat, and your shoulders back as well. Push your hips back as you start to feel the weight on your foot shift from midfoot to more of a heel position. Keep those shoulders back, continuing to keep your back flat as you inhale on the way down. Exhale as you squeeze your glutes and return back to center. Now notice my arms are acting just as ropes or tethers. They're not doing any work here, really just allowing me to hold on to this additional weight. If I wasn't using a dumbbell, the movement would look exactly the same. Hands by my side, pushing my hips back into that hinge position, keeping my back straight, knees slightly bent, and then exhaling as I return back to center. Continue on for 10 repetitions. To begin this exercise, I want you to be in a staggered stance. You'll be facing the wall, but I'm going to demonstrate it this way just so you can see. Make sure that one foot and one leg is out in front of you, one leg behind you, both feet facing in the same direction. Your body is fairly vertical to the ground, and of course that front knee is not going over that front toe. So a slight bend here. Your arms will be outstretched in front of you, making sure that your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder are in a nice straight line. Now this is where it gets fun. We're gonna try to pretend that we're gonna push the wall over, right? Which of course we can't do, but we can certainly try. So in that staggered stance, I want you to press actively against the wall for 10 seconds. Continuing to breathe throughout, but continuing also with that active engagement and that pressing against the wall. Once you've done this for 10 seconds, you can release the exercise, pause for a minute before returning, and continuing on for 5 repetitions. To begin, let's start in a seated position for this exercise. Make sure you're comfortable, your feet are hip width apart, your chest is raised and your back is flat like usual. I'm going to turn slightly so you can see this. Then you're going to hinge forward, making sure again that your back continues to stay flat. Once you reach the point where you start to round, you've gone too far. Come back to the point where you're comfortable and your back is flat. Then with your head pointed straight, bring your arms down by your side. Remember, this is for your rear delt. We're going to have a slight bend in our elbow as we exhale and raise up, keeping the bend in our elbow the same throughout the exercise. Inhaling on the way down, exhaling as we raise up, continuing to keep our core engaged and our back flat. Now you're welcome to add a little bit of weight to this exercise. I suggest starting with very light dumbbells, 1-2 pounds, or you can use something like water bottles or a can of soup. Even a book if you're able to hold on to it comfortably. Again, hands go down by your side, you hinge at the waist, keeping your spine neutral, your head in alignment with the rest of your back. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Wrists should also remain straight throughout. Don't let them hang down. Again, keep them straight. Now, when you're ready to progress, you can try standing during this exercise. It will look similar. Again, a hinging motion at your waist, allowing your arms to hang comfortably down, a slight bend in the elbow, wrists straight. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. You can continue doing this for 10 repetitions. Let's begin this exercise by standing in an athletic stance, meaning that there's a slight bend at your ankle, your knee, and your hip joint. Your feet should be a little bit wider than hip width apart, and your chest should be lifted, your back should be flat, and your shoulders should be back as well. Next, you can do this exercise certainly with any small weight, whether that is a water bottle like I have, a light dumbbell, or even a weighted ball. But you can also do it without any weight at all, and I highly suggest that beginners don't add weight until they're comfortable with the movement pattern. You'll begin by letting your hands hold that weight out in front of you, and then rotating to the side. This is going to be a diagonal movement pattern across your body, going from low to high and then high back to low. With a slight bend in your elbows, let that foot follow, come down into the starting position, and then control the motion as you bring that item or your hands up toward where the ceiling and your wall meet. Return back to that starting position, and again, rotate up, bringing that item in front of you, and then up again to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Nice and controlled. You're going to exhale as you bring the item up, inhale on your way back down. You'll continue on with this exercise for 10 repetitions. Now again, I definitely want to suggest that beginners start without any additional weight. But if you're looking for another way to bring the intensity level down a little bit, consider bending your arms, making the movement a little smaller. So instead of extending them, bending at the elbow and making the motion slightly smaller. Again, 10 repetitions per side. Have fun and good luck.